everybody, it's Chris Eads, and online is Wootini here with another Gay Gamer video podcast for you. This week I went to the movies, and surprisingly, I went to see Hokum. I had heard of this movie, I had seen posters for this movie, and somebody on social media, like last week, said they saw it and it was good, and but I had never seen a trailer for it. I don't know why, but they're like not promoting it, and I thought, you know, I didn't know what I was going to see this weekend, and then I thought, I'll wait for reviews. But then I saw that it's by Damian McCarthy, who did Oddity, which I really liked. So I was like, oh, this is his new movie? Sold. I don't need a review. I will just buy a ticket. And I'm glad I did, because it's not that wide of a release, so it was only playing in a few AMCs in the city, and in small theaters that packed up real quick. So I got a decent seat. And it was a very crowded theater. Basically, the movie, Adam Scott plays an alcoholic writer who goes to Ireland to stay at a cozy little woodland hotel, where he discovers a local legend that the honeymoon suite in this hotel is locked up because it's haunted by a witch. And I thought, fine premise, let's go. And it's actually very scary. There's a bunch of Damian McCarthy very good at creating this mood and tension of like, ooh, what's in the shadows? What's there? What's happening? Like, he'll hold a shot just long enough to make you go like, what am I supposed to be looking at? Wait, what's over there? Is something over there? You know. And he's also very good at the fun, playful jump scares, of which there are a few, that very effective. I jumped a few times. I was like, ooh, a few times. It was very effective. My only issue is that it felt a little long, because there's a lot of other things going on in this movie that kind of get it a little... It's not that it loses focus, it just gets a little overcomplicated, and I'm like, it could have been streamlined maybe, I don't know. But, like, there's a reveal later in the movie that was not a shock to me, because I had figured it out at the beginning, so your mileage may vary, but it's still a good, effective, scary movie. It's just not... I think I liked Oddity a little better. I felt Oddity was a little more focused, but I don't know. I'd have to watch it again just to do a direct comparison. But yeah, if you like scary movies, Hokum is pretty scary and good and effective. I liked it. As for games, Sony did itself, like I said in the last episode, this whole roo-rah about their DRM, and Sony did itself no favors by like not immediately releasing a statement and speaking up. But apparently, what it is after like 15 days, Sony needs to, like, your PlayStation needs to go online so that it can verify that you purchased it, and then that's it. It's a one-time verification online, and then you own that game that you purchased digitally. You won't ever lose it. It's fine. But basically, it's supposedly like to keep people from like in that like 15-day window where you can return a digital game that you've bought. It's to prevent people from like playing the whole game and like after a month being like, okay, here, I'm returning this game that I bought, and they're like, no, like it just has to digitally timestamp it or whatever. Though I don't know why it can't timestamp the actual day of purchase, but whatever, because you're clearly online at that point if you're buying the game, but whatever. But again, it's like I said last episode, it was just a whole bunch of people, like, they discovered something and then social media took over and everybody blew it out of proportion and said, ah! But, you know, it was not that big a deal. And in Disney Dreamlight Valley, I have almost finished the Star Path with like a month left to go. In Nikki, I continue the main quest, and it's a pretty large map. This section that just opened up in this new update is very big. I discovered a whole city, and now I've discovered a whole coastal town, and it's like temples and stuff. It's very impressive. And then with Ghost of Yote, I beat all of the dual trees, so I was able to fight Takezo the Unrivaled and defeated him. You don't kill him because he has to teach you his new technique, so that was good. And I think I basically have done all the side stuff in this area, and I am going to have to go back to the main quest now. But I haven't done that yet because I started another new game. I know. But this gets me to my main topic that I want to talk about this episode, which is free-to-play games. My first experience with free-to-play games was Genshin Impact. Everybody was like, ooh, and everybody's talking about it, and I was like, well, I'll give it a shot, because, it's free-to-play. You could just download it for free, and you can try it, and if you don't like it, you delete it, and all you've wasted is the time you spent playing it. No money. It's fine. So I tried it, and I loved the art style. I thought, oh, this could be fun. And this was years ago, so I don't remember the exact details, but I do vaguely remember, I wanted to explore a cave, and the game basically was like, no. You can't explore this cave unless you, until you have to wait and come back tomorrow. Or you can pay money, and then you could explore it now. There was something about the gameplay where, you could only play it for a certain period of time, or do a certain number of quests, and then it was you're gated unless you want to pay. And I'm just ugh, because that's all the free-to-play mobile games and stuff on your phone. It's they'll let you play a certain number of levels, and then it's okay, now you're done unless you want to pay. And I'm just let me buy the game. So basically, I hit that wall, and I was oh no, that's not going to work for me, and I just deleted it and never went back. Because I'm I'll pay for it. Just let me buy the game so I can play as much of it, and I can play it for hours on end, at a time. Which is what ended up happening with Disney Dreamlight Valley, because that was originally supposed to be a free-to-play game, and then it released, and you paid for it. They were charging for it, and then they're it will eventually, once we've got it all set, then we'll make it free-to-play. And I'm well, I'm not going to pay to play test your game for you. No. So I'll wait for it to be free to play, and then I'll give it a shot. But then they announced that no, it wasn't ever going to be free to play, because they said that they wouldn't be able to maintain the quality if they went free to play. So I was okay, fine. And eventually it went on sale, and I got it for $30. And it does still behave like a free to play game, where every couple of months they're here's the new characters, and here's a new star path of things that you can do, and if you do these specific things, then you can get these, rare and unique items and furniture and clothing and abilities and whatever. So, it still behaves like a free-to-play game. You just have to pay to start playing it. But I got it on sale, so it's fine. And they do actually have paid DLC. There's constant free updates. But then they have the paid DLC, which I bought the first one when it was on sale for cheap. And I still haven't actually finished that whole DLC storyline. I'm maybe 2/3, 3/4 of the way through it, maybe? I don't know exactly. I haven't gone back in a while. Because the main game, they just keep adding content to it, so it keeps you very busy. Also, I have other games I'm playing. So I haven't really, spent enough time on the DLC for Dreamlight Valley. And then they have 2 more, which are annoying because there's always one character that I want. I'm ooh, Maleficent. And I'm oh, but I don't want to pay that I don't want to get this whole DLC to get Maleficent. And then the freaking horse one, I don't care about horses. I don't want a ranch of horses, but I would like Snow White in my valley, so that's irritating. But that was fine. Then there's Infinity Nikki, which, as you know, I've been playing, where I remember seeing the original trailer during a state of play, and at first I was ooh, what's this? You dress up in different outfits and take pictures and explore a cute little fairy world. I like that for me. But then they had footage of boss fights and stuff, and I was oh wait, no, I don't, maybe not. But when it came out, I was it's free to play, so it's free to try. So I said, let me try it, and I was really enjoying it. And I was oh, they called it the coziest open world game ever. And I'm it kind of is. I didn't think it would be. I'm how do you do a cozy game with platforming and combat? They don't really go together, but the platforming and combat isn't really that hard. So it is kind of a cozy open world game. So I'm like, okay, fine. And it's very charming, and playing dress up is cute and fun, and the stories are weird, but like, I've not paid a single penny. I was like, I'll just play it until I hit a wall, and I never hit that wall, and I can play it for hours on end and just keep going. Because the only thing that you need to spend money on is like special outfits and stuff that you might want. And there's been nothing that I've wanted to spend money on. So I've been like, I'm fine with the free stuff I get in the main game. No problem. So thank you to all the other Infinity Nikki players who are clearly spending money, because they're able to continue updating this game with new stories and maps and everything. So the game just keeps expanding because people are clearly spending money on special outfits. And I'm like, thank you for that, because then I don't have to. And I have not spent a single penny on it. And then recently I found out this week about this game called Where Winds Meet, which is another free-to-play adventure game. And it's like a wuxia martial arts thing set in ancient China, and I don't actually know what the story's supposed to be. I've only just started it. I looked at some reviews. They were like, it's fine. Some of them said that it was really buggy, but I'm like, it's been out for months. It came out like last fall, so I'm sure the worst of the bugs have been ironed out. So I said, again, let me download it, and maybe I'll give it a shot and see what it's like. And again, the reviews were like, the only thing you have to pay for is cosmetics. If you want to buy this outfit, you'll pay for the outfit. And I'm like, I'm sure I'll be fine with whatever the game gives me. So I decided, okay, fine. And not that I needed to start a new game, but I did. And it starts out and you pick male or female, and then you can like customize the shit out of your character. Like the facial features, like they're like, pick a face. And I was like, okay, that one. And then it was like, pick a hairstyle. I'm like, okay, that one. And then it's like, okay, do you want to change the eyebrows and your forehead and your cheeks and your jaw and your chin and your nose and the width and the everything in your ears? And I'm just like, oh, no. I learned my lesson long ago with Bethesda and the Dragon Age games, BioWare and stuff. All the BioWare and Bethesda games, I would try to tweak everything to try to make it look like me, and it would end up looking like a monster. So, no. Like, I've started the 2 Dragon Age games, and in the opening cutscene, my character appears, and I'm like, oh, no. And I have to quit the game, delete that save, and start a new one, because that character is an abomination, and I can't look at it. So, I said, I will just go with your generic faces, and that's fine. I don't need to tweak anything. I'm good. And then I just started playing, and it's, like Nikki, it's a little overcomplicated, and there are a lot of menus. I also stumbled upon the menu with like the gacha stuff where you can like spend the coins that you've earned to like try to get these costumes for your character so you can look really cool and impressive. And I'm just like, well, no, I'm just starting. I shouldn't look cool and impressive yet. I'm just gonna keep wearing this robe that I'm wearing. So I've started it. I've done some of the main quest. I've done some side things. Like I explored this whole underground dungeon, fought a bunch of enemies. The combat is fine. I'm sort of mashing buttons. They were like there's a defend and a deflect. So like you can defend an attack or you can deflect the attack. And I'm like, when do you do what? And it said, if you want, we can offer you a button prompt so that you know when to press the deflect button. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah, give me that button. So that like slow time and give me a button prompt with a little timer running out, and I'll quickly press the button to deflect the attack. Yes, thank you. And then it like gives me a prompt for when I can do a special attack. So I'm like, yes, press the buttons and do a special attack. So I'm kind of just sort of mashing buttons and hoping for the best. It doesn't feel like, it's not like Ghost of Yute where you feel like you're actually in the combat and you're defending and you're watching their moves and you're like parrying and attacking and, you know, that kind of thing. This feels a little more mashy. But it's not too hard yet, so yay. Also, I appreciate that there's a bit of a sense of humor. I stumbled upon some puzzle, which was not really a puzzle. It was basically like there's these 2 statues and a blank platform, and it's like, okay, where's the 3rd statue? Oh, it's over here. Let me just pick that up and put it on there. And then there was this weird little cat wearing like a pirate costume who was like, yay, here's your reward. And it just keeps giving me all these rewards, and I have all these items, and like trying to work in the menus, it's like, you gained a new skill, how do I use it? What button do I push? I don't know. You know, what do I do with this item? Like, there was a fishing mini game where I finally figured out how to put bait on my hook. I could not figure that out. And then I finally did. And then I was like, okay, now I'll go fishing. And then I'm like, okay, I caught a couple fish, I'm done. How do I get out of this? And I could not figure out how to get out of the fucking fishing mini game. I had to look it up online. It was like, not great. So, like Nikki, they're trying to do too much, and it gets a little complicated, and the controls aren't intuitive at all. Also, there was this weird bit where I went to talk to a character, and he was all just like, oh, I have no love in my life. And I'm like, he's like, I can't meet women because I'm a martial artist, and what? And I'm ugly. And I'm like, you look fine to me. But it starts a conversation where you literally, like, you can do voice to text, so you can like just talk, and then it'll turn into, you know, so you don't have to type. But you're literally talking, it tells you are talking to an AI chatbot. And I was just like, oh no, that's like not something I really want to do. Like, what? Like, I guess you have to like somehow figure out what to say to the AI chatbot to like befriend it. And I'm just like, I don't actually think I want to be talking to a weird AI chatbot. So I like said a couple of things, and I was like, I think you're handsome, whatever. And he's like, oh, thank you, but no. And I'm just like, okay, bye. Go wallow in your self-pity over there. I can't help you. So that was a little off-putting. Hopefully there's no like AI art in the game, but probably there is. I don't know. I just sort of assume that these free-to-play games do rely now on, you know, AI art assets, and I just hope they don't really, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did. So yeah, I did not make a whole lot of Ghost of Quixote progress. I have discovered, like, it does appear that Where Winds Meet works like Nikki, where, like, checking in every day gets you the daily rewards and that sort of thing, and you can whatever, but it does seem like it is just a regular, like, single-player adventure open-world game. After level 10, you apparently unlock multiplayer, but I don't want to play multiplayer, so goodbye, no thank you. I just want my solo play, thank you. So I think what I'm going to do, and we'll see if I can manage it, is because these are like daily check-in games, now I have another one, I'm going to try to pause Where Winds Meet for a bit so that I'm just playing Animal Crossing, Disney, and Nikki, and then I'll finish Yote, and then I'll go back to Where Winds Meet. Though I will probably maybe alternate and just play a little Where Winds Meet every few days or something, maybe, I don't know. Come back next week and find out how I've made all of this work, because I still have a job and a life, and I can't just sit around playing video games all day. If only I could win the lottery, and then I could sit around playing video games all day. That would be awesome. See you next time. Bye!